So sometimes in life we find that the familiar ways of doing things or the familiar patterns in our life start to break down and they no longer work for us. And it's very natural to want to rail against it, to dig our heels in and cling to those old ways of being even harder. And this is perfectly natural and perfectly acceptable, no shame, no condemnation. But I found that it reduces a lot of the unnecessary suffering if we can instead embrace this as a new part of ourselves looking to emerge. And I don't believe that God or the universe is ever testing us, but I do believe that there's this divine urge for God to, in its human form, just to experience more and more of itself, for this continual expansion. And so, whenever we start to experience this breakdown, we can see it not as a breakdown, but rather as expansion. Almost kind of like one chapter is ending and another chapter is beginning. And to look at this new chapter with excitement and anticipation. One way I relate to it is in a TV show, and sometimes even if it's a show that we really like, you can start to tell, like after a few seasons, like it might start to become a little bit stale, and you see it start to recycle like the same storylines, and it just starts to lose its freshness and vitality. And so then maybe after a while, the creators of the show finally decide just to retire it and either just do a completely new show or maybe do like a spin-off, and all of a sudden it feels fresh and vital again. And so the same thing is true for your life as well, just approaching your life with the same, just the same desire for novelty and vitality. And just to give one example from my life, I had this teaching job years ago. It was a high school English teacher at a Jewish Orthodox school. Never in my life had I envision myself having that type of job. It's something that just very synchronistically landed in my lap, and it was amazing. It was very much a dream job. The students were delightful, the administration was wonderful, just this very warm, nurturing environment, and I absolutely adored that job. And then after 4 years, the school actually closed down, and so naturally, I felt a little bit of fear, a little bit of resistance. I started to look for new teaching jobs just because, well, that was what I was already familiar with. But it didn't feel as flow-based. There was a lot of struggle. When I would go and interview for these new jobs, it didn't really feel like a good fit. And then I recognized that there was a new desire that was really trying to emerge. And already I had been working as a freelance copywriter just on a very like part-time basis, but I saw this as an opportunity to really go all in on the freelance copywriting. And within a few months, I would say like 2 or 3 months, I was fully supporting myself just doing that. And it was the perfect timing because this was in the fall of 2019. We all know what happened in the spring of 2020. And I'm very glad that I was not a teacher during that time and I didn't have to deal with all the fallout and the stress and the transitions. And so, so this is just a reminder to you that anytime you're experiencing something where the old ways start to no longer work for you, just to really like embrace that with curiosity and excitement as the new part of yourself, as this divine part of yourself looking just to express itself in new and exciting ways. So with that, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.